Welcome to the Union City Spin the District Criterium. This is part of Speedweek, and I missed the day before, which had a good little hill in it. I heard it was a pretty hard race, but I crashed my car that I was driving around between these races, so that prevented us from getting to the race on time. But coming into this one with a little bit fresher legs because I missed that one before, and there was a little break between them, so seeing how the legs are. There's also a smaller field at this mid-week race, so I've got my buddy Nico right in front of me with the red pants. I'm still on the team with the olive pants, but generally we'd kind of try to race together. Smaller field, so a little bit easier to get up to the front, and I'm just gonna seek out break opportunities. There's like a little rise coming down the rise here into one of the sharper corners of the day. You can see people are kind of taking different lines throughout that first lap here, and then it strings out pretty hard on this back straight. I'm still on the rim brake bike, aluminum bike, which you can see Troopy over there on his rim brake aluminum bike too, so don't have that big of an excuse. But I'm gonna hop on. I did not hop on his wheel. I'm going to keep trying to move up to the front, sniff out a break. I know Rainstorm's probably going to light it up as much as they can. They're all super fit during this Speed Week series, and they were, I think, leading, if not just behind Michael Garrison at this point in the race. Nobody's wearing the leader's jersey, so it was kind of hard to tell, but it didn't matter for me because I was sitting like 18th or something in the overall through these. A little bit later on in the race here, and I am finally moving up on the right side into that sharper corner here. I found the inside of that corner was a little bit easier for me to move up on. People were super hesitant on this part, and then I got squeezed in a little bit, but was still able to make up plenty of spots. Had to hit it kind of hard out of there, but made it up to the front, and then I'm going to take that opportunity and send a little attack. I can see Alfredo right off the front there with another rider, and I know Alfredo being in a break is something that Rainstorm is going to like, especially without Michael Garrison in it because they're going for the Speed Week overall. And so I'm going to try and make it up to this the best that I can. I'm hurting pretty bad here, almost 180 beats per minute, and all the Speed Week, I was feeling it. That puddle on the left, keep that in mind, that'll be a little consequential, but felt pretty good on that corner. Some riders did crash there, but it was never that big of an incident, usually just one at a time. There were some bumps on the outside of that corner, and once we got to this part, once the speed got higher, this whole week, I just like could not keep going most of the time. So we were just letting riders go through. Gomez there, and we actually have a pretty big gap at this point. We're still like trying to form the break, and I still can't keep speed up. So when we get to straights like this and it gets closer to 30 miles an hour, I just have to let the wheel go. And yeah, that kind of hurt. You got over there on the left, Craven, their director, telling them what's up. They don't race with radios, so they really just look at their director for what's going on in the race and just go on intuition. Other than that, they've all been racing pretty long, so I see Gomez go there. I know that's a good move, but yeah, I'm still cracked, so I just gotta follow whatever I can and hope that the rest of the guys also know that that is a good wheel to hop onto. And luckily they did. So we stayed away for, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps with maybe a 15-20 second gap. But eventually it was brought back in. You can see Para here sitting up pretty hard, letting another one go. There's plenty of guys that are still fresh that were in that breakaway, including Garrison on the left there, who's going to decide to make it across to that little split. And Joe, I think Joe is his name, 2 Ribble guys, doesn't even matter what their names are, and Danny. So everything is just going to kind of come back together there throughout this little straight section. A little bit later on, there's a small lull, and I decided that would be a good time to send it. I went on the inside of that corner, cut it a little close to Summerhill there, and he chirped me for it, but we were all right. I think I just took him by surprise. Made it up to that little hill, and I had to sit up. I attacked way too hard, but Burgoyne made it across. He's right in front of me on this one, and you can actually see later he crashed. You can see the holes in his kits right there. I didn't get it on camera. He must have popped up real quick, but somewhere between that last clip and that clip, he crashed and tore up his bibs. So he's taking that corner a little more gingerly now that he knows the limit of it. moving on to later in the race. About 20 minutes in, some little breaks with the Rainstorm guys had gone, but Alfredo, you can see, still in the field there. Gomez was still in the field, and now it's going to start getting consequential. There's 18 minutes to go. We've been racing pretty hard the whole time, and I have been stoked to be in a lot of the moves that have gone, but I am starting to feel it, and eventually this little split happens. Got to work hard, be humble guy, making it across to it. And there are two Rainstorm guys in there. I think Gomez and Alfredo both made it into that. Fergus was in a few of the moves too. He was lighting things up, but through this corner, they still have plenty of room off the front. It was getting pretty dark. They added some more lights, but it was still a very dark race this whole time. So I am just going to stay up towards the front and hope there's something I can latch onto. I'm not super confident in my solo bridging ability on this bike in this race with the leg speed that I had. So I was just kind of waiting for everything to fold over and then shoot my chances in the field sprint if possible. But yeah, you can still see they have a good gap there. I'm starting to think that this might make it, so I'm starting to look for like a place where it's going to be really close. You can see Danny or maybe even Gomez on the left here. Yeah, I think that's Gomez. He's like getting something out of his pocket, and then he sees this go, so he starts hitting it. Oh, that's definitely Danny. And so I jump onto his wheel, knowing that this little bridge move might be promising, but I need a draft to sit in on this whole race series. So following them through this corner and hoping we make it up to that front group, which you can't even see here because it's so dark. A little bit later on, we got caught. Some guys just rolling past us and into this start-finish straight. Danny's gonna kind of like mark that move, kind of weld it back on in, trying to keep his guys off the front there. I think Garrison was actually in that move, but I finally decide it is my time to go, and I hit it pretty hard. You can see them right through that first corner. There's a decent gap, but gaps can close quickly on this course, so I was hoping I could make it, and I get to this part and just hit a wall once we get over, I don't know, 26 miles an hour, and all the other guys still had plenty of legs. So Gomez making it across there on the left, and I'm just folding back into the field. There's like 12 minutes left, and I have pretty much burned all my matches. I saw Alfredo there on the right, so you can tell Rainstorm's probably not going to let anything go, and indeed, it did get pulled back. Everything was kind of staying strung out. Super going on the left, doing another little attack once it lulled. I think that move may still be up there at this point, but we are, yeah, slowly bringing it back, and I'm just hopping on Burgoyne's wheel and hoping we can move up into that move. Oh yeah, that move is still gone, but we're getting really close here, and this is actually the spot where it finally bridges back. I didn't want it to go. I looked back, saw we had a little bit of a gap, so I rolled through with Burgoyne there, and the field was kind of close behind. I think by the time I sat up on this next straight or two, the field had actually like just got back on to our little move, so didn't pull the field all the way up to it, but I probably could have saved some energy there and just let someone else do it. So get back onto this, and I'm still just pain dangling back here and waiting for someone to come around. It's late. There's only 7 minutes left into the race, and that is actually my final match there. So some other dudes bridge across to it, and I just go straight to the back of this field for the last 7 minutes of the race. And here's 3 minutes left, probably like a lap and a half to go, and I am just yeah, there's a little slip up on the left there. I'm just kind of tail gunning on the back, hoping to get some wind back into my sails, but come in through the last lap, I'm still dead last. I can hear the moto behind me. I can see the moto's lights behind me, and I can't even like hold the wheels through these. Granted, half the field had been dropped at this point, and I had been pretty active, but I had no shot of doing anything in the final there. Rolled my dice on a breakaway and spent all my matches doing so. But finishing out, we had, I think Alfredo won the race. Rainstorm almost stacked the podium. Garrison in like 5th, so the overall for Speedweek got really tight, and I ended up getting like 23rd rolling through the line. Thanks for watching. See ya.